Right, here we come, coming back at you live in three, two, one. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Jeremy. This is Awakened Reality, and we are going live tonight, late night, very late, later than usual. It's probably right around 11:44 Eastern Time here in the United States, coming in from Southern Maryland. And excuse me while I get some water. Oh, ah, and I hope you're doing well wherever you're at. Morning, afternoon, night. Want to send out that love, sending out those good vibes only, and my blessings to you and to your loved ones during these trying times, these trials and tribulations. I hope you are handling it the best that you can. I know you are. I know you're strong, and we're here for you. And anyone that comes in, just say hello. We love you. Wen, how you doing? Namaste to you as well. Forgive the voice. I don't talk very much anymore, so I don't think this thing knows how to kick in these days. Excuse me while I try and clear my throat. Hopefully you can hear me nice and clear, though. And I'm just, checking in on everyone and putting out some late night vibes. And something just told me to get on. I don't expect anyone really to chime in, but I'm glad that you did. Um, I just sitting there and I was watching some videos about fasting as I'm continuing my fast, and I'm just feeling so blessed with the way everything's going and how healthy I am. And I wanted to just get on and chat with anyone who was out there and send out some vibes, make a quick little video here, remind everyone that they're not alone, that you're not crazy, you're not you're not the minority. The majority is waking up and going through these trials and tribulations and all these things happening out there in the world. It seems like there's just evil's taken over the world. It's not. Evil's not taken over the world. Evil is exposing itself for those to stop ignoring it. In that evil is within each of us as well. We all have our demons, and that's what's happening right now with this Great Awakening. So many people are obsessed with the Great Reset, freaking out about the Great Reset. Klaus Schwab and governments and presidents and prime ministers and all these people that have no power over you. It's all an illusion. It's all mass media produced. You're watching things, whether it's through social media or TV. You're just watching things that are designed to push this great awakening forward, this new world order that people are so afraid of, because they look at it from the wrong way. They're looking at it from this fear-based propaganda that's coming at you. But as we've talked before, it is designed this way. It is designed this way to push the awakening forward. It has to happen. The Earth couldn't take anymore. The planet, the animals, the humans, it couldn't take anymore. It had to happen. People had to start waking up, and it's going to take time for people. Right now, you've got all the people protesting. They're up in arms. They want change, but they're asking other people to make the change for them instead of doing what needs to be done, which is the self-reflection, the self-accountability, the sovereignty needs to be taken back into responsibility, into not only just the individual responsibility, but then, whatever your tribe is, your small community, however small you want to keep it, um, is based off of your comfort levels, what you're willing to contribute, what you're willing to give up, and give back. So there's there's nothing to be afraid of with any of this. And there's the people are going to go through these stages of protesting, because again they have this idea that they want to go back to the old normal, but yet once you're awake, once you realize that putting the responsibility of your life and your obligations to not only yourself and your own temple, but to your personal family, your personal community, your tribe, as I like to call it. When you put that responsibility into other people's hands, they don't have your best interest at heart. They just don't. There's only so much that they can care about you because they're worried about juggling their own life and their own personal families and their own, companies and corporations and things like that. So people are going to go through this idea of thinking, we'll stomp our feet and we'll hold signs up and we'll throw a fit in the streets and we'll look like we're coming together in solidarity, hoping that these people that we gave all the responsibility to, way too much responsibility to, because of our own laziness and chasing desires that are unhealthy and don't suit our soul and our greater purpose. They're gonna come to a realization here soon that, wait, there is no going back to the old normal. There is, I mean, the old normal wasn't servicing any of us. Hi Susan, how you doing? Sending love to you and yours. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're feeling good. Hope things are going well for you. We love you very much. So all of these things that are happening right now are still the beginning stages, or middle stages, if you will, beginning the middle stages of this trials and tribulations process. There's still going to be lots of propaganda thrown around. It's necessary. I know people don't like to hear that, but it is necessary. Again, you have to understand things like reincarnation and karma and why certain people are going through more of, if you will, more of a scarier tribulation, depending on where they live, like in Australia and what they're going through versus, a rural area in America that really hasn't done any of the mandates or any of the lockdowns or any of those kind of things. So it's it's one of those things that that's the only way you can explain things like that, is why are certain areas going through certain things and certain areas are not. Well, that's because that's where these people chose to reincarnate, or that's where they had to reincarnate to finish off karma from previous lives and generational karma and things like that, that they agreed to handle, to come down here and be a part of this big stage, this whole mass awakening. So there's going to be continued chaos. There's a reason they have the saying "order out of chaos." There is truth to that. Okay, there is truth to that. These people are not just all stupid and all evil. Okay, you gotta look more macro than that. It's again, it's a necessary evil, if you want to call it that, going on right now. There would be no great awakening if these scripts were not unplaying, if these people were not throwing the fear around, if parents were not afraid of their children's future and their children's well-being, they wouldn't be looking at the school systems and looking at the, authority figures with, a closer eye now and a concern. If everything had been going as is, and that we just keep going down the cycle of the old normal, which was not servicing anyone. So, getting back to what I was saying about the protest, they're not going to do anything for anyone in the bigger picture. The protests are just a step because people are confused, and they want change. They don't understand what change they want, because channels like mine that are talking about it are censored and dealing with AI algorithms and things like that, that don't get the message out in mass numbers that we would like. But it'll happen. More and more people they'll get bored with the protesting. They'll realize it's not going anywhere. They'll realize that, oh wait, these are the people that were making all the problems to begin with. Why are they all of a sudden going to fix things for us? Why are they going to what gives them the right to give us something that's our right to take, which is your freedom, which is your sovereign responsibility over your health, your temple, your spiritual well-being. So those things just got to play out, and you can't worry about things that are happening in areas that aren't where you're at, where you're located. You can't worry about protests that are going on or lockdowns that are going on in other countries or other towns. You can only worry about what's going on in your area. You can only focus on your bubble, if you will, as we talk about. And that's where the focus has got to remain. It's got to remain first and foremost on you and your well-being, your health, your emotional strength, your balance. That's where it's got to be there, and that comes with things like fasting and meditating and proper diet, exercise, balance with nature, clean, healthy vapor distilled water is huge. Getting proper nutrients. We talk about it: the iodine, the or oil of oregano, and zinc supplements and vitamin D, and all of these things are available for you. You can get them. Um, Grounding outside in nature and allowing energy to flow through you properly. That is first and foremost. Once you focused on yourself, once you eliminate all this toxin inside of you, these built up toxins and metals and negative energy, and you literally get your chakras flowing as they're supposed to, and you release all this fear, all this doubt, all this concern. Once you become one with yourself again, the two become one. The right and the left hemisphere of the brain start to fire together on all cylinders. The energy starts to flow throughout the entire body from head to toe and back and forth as it should. Once you start, getting yourself in proper alignment with that aura that's around you, and it starts vibing and protruding the way it's supposed to. All these concerns that you thought you had just literally they just go away, and then you become available for people around you to be more involved with your community and to start, taking that leadership role, no matter how big or small. We all are leaders and we all are followers. We're all students. We're all teachers. So it's a process. Everyone's going to be on different levels. It's ascension. There's levels to the ascension, but you're not alone on this journey. Um, you definitely um, cared about and loved and being watched after from the spiritual realm to people all over this world that are going through the same things, that are coming together and finding one another. And it is a really, really, really great time to be alive. It is not something to be dwelling on or to be fearful of. um, it's natural to have these emotions come in, but it's your responsibility to recognize these as coming from outside sources, that um, there's no such thing as eternal death. There's no such thing as a burning fiery pit of hell underneath your feet. There's none of these things that have been pushed upon you to make you turn to substances and overeating and um, sheltering inside and over consuming television because you're afraid and you're avoiding and you want the distractions, you want the bread and circus. um, these are paradigms that serve a purpose once you acknowledge their falseness, and you can really take a grip of who you're supposed to be. Then you realize that this is a great time to be alive. That yes, you're supposed to feel some of the things you're feeling. Yes, you're supposed to feel a little bit of pain, a little bit of remorse, a little bit of concern for what other people are going through, because you're human. You have a soul, you have a heart, and the more you get in back into that heart, uh, you'll feel those things. Especially if you're someone along the lines of like an empath. We are definitely feeling uh, sadness for other people, um, but we don't dwell on it. We don't hold on to it because we know what the bigger picture is coming. We know what's coming on down the road. We trust and we have faith or belief or whatever you want to call it in that greater power, that power of good, that power of righteousness, the light coming from the darkness. Um, we we walk it. And so some people would, say, "Oh, you guys are just new age this and you don't." These are the same people that say they believe in Jesus or Krishna or this, that, and the other, but they don't live like they have any faith in the power of that almighty healing and doing and being in control of everything and being the one to have wrote the script. And it's going to be all right. It's going to be more than all right. It's getting better. It is going to get better. It will. It will. And it always looks darkest before the dawn. They say that all the time, and it's so true. It's so true that this paradigm is going to shake itself to the core. This system is going to crumble before us. There's there's only so much you can do. You can't be worried about, like I said, what's going on the other side of the world or even in your neighbor's house. You can't even worry about what's going on in your neighbor's house. You know, you can only control what you can control. And that's why focusing on your health right now, the right way, not with pharmaceuticals, not with TV doctors, not with celebrity endorsements. You taking responsibility with nature, with clean, healthy food, clean, healthy water, as much fresh air as you can get, removing the bad habits, doing it because not because it's the right thing to do. It's because of the benefits, not because you're afraid, well, if I don't do this, I'm going to go to hell because we're in the trials and tribulations and the rapture is going to come. You got to do these things for the right reason, because that they're going to make you the best you that you can be. Giving up the smoking and the drinking and the overeating and all these things. These are not because it's going to make Jesus or the Most High or whoever love you more or love you better or welcome you into their heart. This is because it's going to make you love yourself better, because the kingdom of heaven is within. You have the keys. They're inside you. It's time to pick them up. Time to unlock these doors or lock up some of these doors that you've had open for too long. And we can do this. We got this. We have to do this. Okay, we have to do it. It just whether you do it now or you reincarnate to a life, another timeline, similar situations, whatever. These things have to happen. And the world is being given an opportunity. The light has been shined. The light is as bright as it's ever been, shining on the darkness. Okay, that's the way to look at it. All of these subjects, all of these things that are happening all over the world, government exposure, medical fraud exposure, media exposure, celebrity idol exposure, indoctrination in school systems exposure, animal cruelty, the idea of racial division and wealth division and all these things that have been going on for thousands of years. It is now on the table with a big old spotlight. The light is shining brighter than it ever has on these subjects. Okay? So, do you really think that it's going to get worse? It's going to revert back to the dark age? It's going to revert back like we're just all of a sudden enough people are going to go get their sticker and these powers to be are just going to say, oh, okay, now you know what, everything's good. We're just gonna, we're sorry. We've met our quota. Natural herd immunity is here, and everyone's just gonna go back to going to sporting events, going to bars. No, because they're now awake. Once you're awake, you can't go back to that world. As much as you want to, You have sense of guilt kick in, so senses of righteousness, whatever it is. There's something inside of you that can't be turned back off. People are not going to want to let their kids go back to the schools. People are not going to trust the hospitals and the pharmaceutical companies anymore. People are not going to trust the government. People are not going to care about what celebrities are saying. They're just not. That world is over, and it's going to take some more time. It's going to take a little more time, but that world is over. You can't go back. You can't go back. The light is brighter now than it's ever been on these dark entities and these dark negative lifestyles that have been being played out. These dark scripts, if you will. That they've been playing out for some time, and there's no going back to that. There's no going back to that, and that's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing. Everyone fears the term New World Order. How about New World Balance? Okay, you can change the name of it. New World Balance. There will be a balance. There will be a harmony. There will be a sense of respect and responsibility coming back to the individual that'll be shared amongst the community. There will be an integrity and a transparency that will be your true social credit system. Another thing that they make seem so naughty and like it's going to be forced upon you, but it's going to be natural. There's going to be a natural new way of exchanging your integrity and your communal responsibility amongst one another. Your money has always been fake. Your money has always been fake. It does not matter. There will be a new way to trade amongst each other, and it will be it'll be more beneficial. People are afraid of digital currency. I'm one of those people that believes that there needs to be something more than digital currency. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of anything. But there will be some kind of new system, whether it's going back to the gold or a new paper dollar trade system, whatever. But too many people are not going to be willing to deal with an AI-run world. The world is waking up. They're coming out of the matrix, so don't have to worry about these things that they're trying to scare you with, V passports and all these kind of, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because you are the majority. Trust me, you are the majority. You've seen the videos of the protest. You've seen around the world how many people are standing up and coming together and showing mass amount of non-compliance. You are not the minority. Okay, even if you have not gone to one single protest, made one single video, even if you haven't opened your mouth and not even told your friends or family about how you feel about everything that's going on, trust me, you are the majority if you are starting to question this world that we lived in, this world that is changing. If you are starting to question the people that were the decision makers, if you are starting to question who you are, where you come from, where you're going, how you get there, if you are starting to question these things, you are the majority. Okay? And they know that. They know that. They're very well aware of it. And they know that there is no way that they would ever be able to round up the entire world's population and put them in camps. Never going to happen, guys. Never going to happen. You've got mass military personnel ready to step down. People are already, there's already videos of military personnel, police force people stepping down and just like doctors and nurses walking away from the system and saying, no, we're not going to be a part of this. We're not going to enforce these things. We're not going to be your little foot soldiers. So being afraid of the 1% of people that you think run the world and are trying to create this new world order of quarantine camps and V passports and all these kind of things that are just the scripts playing out. You are the majority. They wouldn't be able to round you all up. They wouldn't be able to take over the world like that. They can't. I mean, just think about it. Really think about it. They can't. They don't have the manpower. I don't care how many drones or AI pieces of technology you think they have. They don't have the manpower to take over 7 billion people. Even if only 5 billion of us were against the main narrative, that's 5 billion people, okay? Jiwi, good morning or good evening to you. I hope you're doing well out there. I hope you're staying strong. I hope you're fighting the good fight within, winning your battles, coming out nice and balanced, sharing that love, sharing that light within. I really do hope things are going well for you out there, wherever you're at. It is just after midnight my time here on the East Coast. I'm coming in from Southern Maryland. It is roughly 12:10 a.m. and just enjoying my fast and my energy, and wanted to get on here and just chat about what we always chat. Remind people that things are still a work in progress for the whole world, but it is a time of action. Whether it is a small step or a very big step, there needs to be steps being taken, and not just steps in a protest line. That's not going to do anything for anyone. The protests are good for one thing, and that's just to show the world how many people are fed up and how many people are awake. But it's not actually going to do anything as far as the change is concerned. It's just a very small fraction of what needs to be done. But it is at least, again, the step in the direction we need to go, which is people realizing that something needs to happen. There does need to be change implemented. That change that needs to be implemented is not going to be done by the corporations. It's not going to be done by the governments. That's what the whole purpose of the Great Awakening is. We will get back to self-accountability. We will get back to a sense of sovereignty. We will all be doing our part to take care of ourselves, our own health. We'll become our own doctors and healers again. We will become our own teachers after a certain point. And we'll always be teachers and students, but we will get more into taking responsibility of knowing what is truth and what is indoctrinated, fabricated BS, whether it's history or hypothetical mathematical equations or dietary requirements, whatever it is. We will get back to a sense of responsibility over our own sovereignty, and then in return get taking care of this place that we live called Earth. Growing food properly, not littering, not over polluting, using nature as technology rather than trying to create these artificial technologies from things we rip from the planet's core. You got so many things like wind power and hydraulic power and sound vibrations and all these natural things, electromagnetism, all these things that we'll start tapping into and using once again, like we did in previous ancient cultures. I mean, you can see the beauty in the former architecture and the temples and structures we find all over the world, still finding, um, still discovering, and we still can't to this day replicate the things that we find and discover from old times. But we'll get back to that. We will get back to that, and it'll be a beautiful thing. We'll be in harmony with nature again. We'll be in harmony with animals again. We will we will be the caretakers like we were supposed to, rather than the users and abusers that we've been for so many millennia, for so many cycles, for so many incarnations. Um, we've been seeing that well before this great reset really kicked off with the 2020 shenanigans. You were seeing things like vegan movements and you know um, animal cruelty movements and um, tiny home movements and getting back into nature, self self sovereignty, gardening, and you know exercise movements, and you know natural vitamin supplements and things like that. All these movements were happening, um, and they were on a skyrocketing path. Um, and I think everyone's kind of forgotten about that with everything that's been happening in 2020 and beyond because of all the fear that's being pumped at people. But fear motivates change. Fear and anger do eventually motivate change. It takes some time for people. It's going to take some time. It's going to take the right voices being heard. It's going to take the right leaders stepping up. Leaders are being made right now. Leaders are being created right now. You could be one of those leaders. Who knows? Who knows? But leaders are finding their role. Just like Gandhi was created off of Hitler and Hitler's actions and things like that. Jesus was created because of Satan, right? Right. Jesus was brought into God forth to, into human form, right? If you want to look at that analogy, to to you know counterbalance Satan and his reign over humanity and this planet, this realm. Leaders are being created right now. New leaders, people that will have great ideas on how to rebuild society in this new ideology, this new world order. I know people hate that term. I know. I try not to use it, but it is a new world order. This new world balance. Um, Leaders are being created right now. People are finding out because they're being pushed to a point of getting angry, or they're fearful of what's going to happen to their children if they don't step up. They're getting upset with seeing their kids in face diapers, and they're getting upset by not being able to be with loved ones as they pass on to the next life. They're getting upset by not being able to you know, go into a grocery store and get food. So, they're learning new traits. They're learning, you know, how to become the leaders that we need. And not everyone's going to be a global leader or a community leader. It doesn't mean that you won't lead at some point in your life and that you won't help be a leader somewhere down the road. Um, you need leaders and followers. Okay, there can't be nothing but alpha males. You need beta males too. Okay, if everyone was the CEO of a corporation, there'd be no successful corporation because you'd have no one to work at the place. You know what I'm saying? Like, if everyone wanted to drive the tractor on the farm, and everyone refused to go out and harvest the goods and crop them and bag them and stuff like that, there'd be no there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be multiple roles. There has to be multiple mindsets. It doesn't mean one is more important than the other. It doesn't mean one has a bigger responsibility than the other. It's all relevant. It's all necessary. And that's what's happening right now. People are starting to find out who they truly are. They're starting to step into their roles. You're seeing these new not new doctors, but certain doctors are stepping up and becoming a voice on certain subjects. You got certain people become in the protest that are becoming a voice of, like, you know, trying to help these people realize, this is what we're going to have to do. People like myself, like, hey, we can't just sit around and walk up and down the streets, you know, expecting things to change. We actually have to sit down together. We actually have to find out who's in our community. We have to actually get to know our neighbors. We have to actually start taking over our communities neighborhood by neighborhood. And when the local stores realize that, wait, these people are growing their own food, they don't want to come in our stores because those policies will change. Those prices will change. Those kind of, that's how you take, when you show that you don't need somebody else to do it, that it's a choice, that it's a gift. Like, we're giving you the gift to provide for your family by doing these things for us. And if you're not going to respect that gift, we'll take that gift away from you. Now you can go find another new way to provide for your family. Now you can go figure it out for yourselves. So these people, we're coming into our roles. We're going to help everyone figure this out step by step. Mad Max, good to see you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well wherever you're at, whatever time of the day it is. I'm hoping you're feeling good in your skin. I hope you're finding your new role in this world, because that's what we're all going through right now. As I'm talking about right now, we are all finding that new role. What is our new role? Who are we truly? What are we going to offer to this world? Are we going to be someone that's going to sit there and just make fun of people we don't agree with? Are we going to just point the finger and be no better than these people? Are we going to post memes and things that mock? Or are we going to post memes that inspire and that try and educate? Are we going to lay breadcrumbs, or are we going to throw stones? There's a choice to be made right now. And I choose to lay breadcrumbs. I choose not to do the mocking. I choose not to, and I was there at the beginning of the whole scenario, the whole 2020 scenario. I was there where I was going to stores that were social distancing, that had lines and people with masks and all that stuff. And I was, what are you doing? You need to wake up. I mean, I was yelling, I was screaming. And that doesn't do anything. It doesn't. It does. If anything, it reinforces that we're crazy, or we're conspiracy theorists, or we're loonies. That we don't have our balance. We don't have our chakras in order. We don't have our energy in a healthy place. So, posting memes that mock, ridicule, humiliate is not doing anything but putting out that bad negative energy that the world is trying to cleanse itself of right now. So if you're someone who posts memes or GIFs or videos, think about what you're posting. Think about, would it attract a bee with honey, or would it kill the bee with salt? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a pretty easy thing to consider. We cannot win this battle. Well, we've already won the battle, but we cannot expedite the process by using the same tactics of the people we're trying to help. Because I think that's what everyone really wants, is they either want somebody to help them, or they want to help somebody. There's a bunch of people that, again, are protesting because they want somebody to help them, but they're asking the wrong people for help, or they're looking to the wrong people for help, instead of, putting that onus on themselves and their immediate community, which is what we'll get back to. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to be traveling and interconnected with the world. I mean, we do have technology's not going anywhere. We'll still have airplanes. We'll still have automobiles. We'll still have the internet. We'll just have a better way, and we'll actually have more time, because we won't all be working and slaving ourselves away for pennies on the dollar. You'll have more time to travel and see the world. I think there will be a lot less home ownership. I think places like Sweden have it right, where there's not very much home ownership. Um, you move around a lot more fluidly. There's none of that burden of fear of a 60-year mortgage. You're not locked into something that you end up not enjoying because you're like, oh my God, I need this paycheck to continue to come in, or I lose this house and then I'm in trouble with the bank and all this kind of stuff. I think that kind of stuff will happen. I mean, tribes used to move around. Tribes use, look at gypsy lifestyle if you want to look at it like the gypsy lifestyle, where people would move around and go from area to area. I think there will be a lot more fluidity. So it's not like we're going to end up, when I say we're going to get tribal again, it means wherever we're at, we're going to be we're going to have a desire to be involved. We're going to, whether you stay long enough to have your own harvest and grow your own food, or you make sure you're involved in the community, going to your farm yourself, putting in the work so the people that are own the land or tend the land get a chance to go on their vacations. People will be tagging in and out. There will be a much more give and take in this world. I can promise you that. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited to continue to learn things that have been other people's responsibility based off choice, based off of the paradigm we were indoctrinated into, the way we were raised. It's all Walmart's responsibility to just have food on the shelves, and I just come in with this thing I call money, and it'll just be there, right? Well, we see what happens when you put all that responsibility on someone else. Greed is a natural thing that it took over. It took over. It took over, and we're going to tear it down. We're going to tear it down. We're going to start over. It was the end of the world. You're watching the end of the world as we knew it, okay? And then we're going to rebuild it. They like to call it the build back better. We are going to build back better. We are, and they know it. They know it. They know it. There's nothing they can do about this. There's nothing they can do about it. Let's see. Mad Max is back in. These people won't listen to me no matter what approach I take. Just been my experience, not giving up. And that's the thing. You can't try and have the same conversation over and over with the same people. If they're not hearing it, they're not hearing it. You move on. You keep doing your thing. You keep doing your thing. You keep moving in your direction, and you allow the people that are ready to navigate towards you. You have to make yourself available in whatever means you can to the world, and wait your turn. And the time will come when your purpose will be fulfilled. So many people are at different levels of the awakening, of the spiritual ascension path, that some of us are waiting because we're waiting for the world to catch up to the things that we can teach, to the things that we've already progressed past, to the dark nights of the soul that we've already conquered, to the healing aspects that we can share. And so there are a lot of us that are waiting, and we're like, come on, world, hurry up and catch up. Hurry up. I still have a bunch of meat eaters in my life that just don't get it. They still don't understand because they're looking at it from all the wrong aspects. They're not acknowledging it's an addiction. They're not acknowledging that the people that told them that meat is needed and meat is a part of your natural diet and you have to have it are the same medical industry that they're now questioning, and they're now saying, whoa, these people are misinformed, liars, bought off by the wrong people, want to sell you pharmaceutical band-aids. They don't want to heal you. So things like fasting and vegan diet and meditation and getting in nature. These kind of things are still well beyond the current awakening status for a lot of people. So people like myself, and the reason why I haven't done as many streams recently and I just went back into my hermit crab mode was because I was like, okay, we're still not there just yet. Like there's still a lot of purging that has to happen for people to get to where I'm going to really be able to shine, where I'm really going to be able to help people with the phases that'll come down the line. We're in phases, um, and because of the major phase that we're in, which is like the propaganda phase and the fear phase, and let's get people angry to get them to wake up. Let's get them angry so they stop listening to these negative entities or these decision makers who, again, I believe that whether they know it or not, they're doing the bidding of the light by trying to cloud so much darkness over everything right now with all their different propagandas and false flags and false numbers and like the videos of the camps being made in Australia. You have no idea what those buildings are actually going to be used for down the road. You have no idea. Okay, but you're buying in immediately to, oh my God, they're building quarantine camps, FEMA camps, and this, that, and the other. You have no idea yet what they're actually going to be used for, what if they're ever actually going to meet their purpose. These people build Hollywood sets and throw them away like it's nothing. They don't care about the money. They don't care about the labor that goes into it because they know money doesn't mean anything. It's just paper. It's nothing. Nothing. They're printed off as much as they want. It has no value. So people are, being given all these different things to get angry about because anger gets shit done. Excuse my language, but anger does get shit done. People have got to get angry. It's our responsibility to be there to remind people that anger needs to be channeled a certain way. It cannot be violence. It cannot be violence, physical aggression towards other, mocking, things like that. That does nothing. It services nobody. It accomplishes absolutely zilch. It either takes you steps backwards or it just keeps you idle in a position of no progression. Can't have that. But you do need anger. It is a natural emotion. It is a motivating emotion. And it is an accomplishing emotion. It accomplishes stuff. So like I said, the right people are gonna get angry. The right doctors are gonna start speaking up like they have been. The right personnel are gonna start walking away from industries and creating private practices. Police are gonna walk away. Military people are gonna walk away. And eventually you won't have anyone to fly your drones, to drop your bombs, to shoot your guns, to arrest people. Because they're just not. They're not. They're just not gonna have the people to do these things. It's gonna take a little more time though, guys. It's gonna take a little more time. Finding healthy distractions are great. If you're, get a good book to read, find good, healthy programming to watch, to educate yourself, to learn new traits, listen to good music, good, healthy music, listen to some classical music that's going to stimulate the brain, learning how to cook healthy foods, trying different things, learning good, healthy new hobbies. These are great things to do while passing the time, while waiting for all this to unfold. But you can't be worried about ending up in some FEMA camp. You can't be worried about someone showing up at your door with a needle. You can't be worried about those kind of things. Can't be worried about them. Let's see here. What do we got in the chat here? One of the first videos of yours I watched, you were trying to wake people up in line. I remember that. Yep, being peaceful and going within is probably better. Yep. I used to be out in front of, like, there was a famous one I did out in front of Trader Joe's, and I stayed till the cops came, and I showed everyone that the cops weren't going to do nothing. That once you truly have accepted the protection of being awake and knowing that the system has nothing over you, that it's an illusion, that words are spells and things like that, once you truly understand that and you know how to look a cop in the eyes and you know how to say the proper words and you know how to and you're not afraid, there's no fear emanating from you, that it's true strength, you shut it all down. They got nothing. There's nothing they can do. But it didn't accomplish anything. It didn't accomplish me. I should have been walking to those people with compassion. I should have come with, like, pamphlets of information and just said, hey, read this on your own. If it's something that, you know, triggers you, great. This is our website. This is our YouTube. Um, we'll be having local meetings here, things like that. Screaming, looking like a fool, raising your voice, being animated like that doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything at all. So, but and again, and I've been prepared for it forever, but I allowed all of the shock and awe, all the propaganda to get to me as well too. I started hoarding again. I started going out and buying a bunch of supplies and all this stuff, knowing that I'm the first person that's going to let my neighbor in to come eat. That's just who I am. It's always been who I am. So what does it matter if I have a bunch of food in my home? It's going to be gone within the first couple of days because I'm not going to let my neighbors starve. I'm not. There was a line from a show I was just watching recently, or quote I saw, where the guy was being given an opportunity to do something, and he said, you think I'm going to give up my honor for a few more measly days or measly years of life here in this realm, on this earth? I'm going to give up my honor, all the things I've been working towards, balancing and upholding, my righteousness, my word, my compassion, my love for others. You think I'm just going to sacrifice that all? And that's what I feel about hoarding. When people are saying you need to go get 6 months supplies for each member of your family and hoard it all in your house, and then what? And then watch your neighbors starve? No, I'm going to be the first person to open my door and say, hey, I've got some food, and that food's going to go from 6 months to 6 weeks, if that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be out there looking for as many people as I can to go, hey, we have a little bit of food and water over here. Don't worry. All the kids. And that's what I'm saying. If you don't believe in a higher power, if you don't believe in something good in this world, you think all these kids are about to just suffer? All these kids are about to go hungry? After shining all the light on the darkness, after shining all this light on the darkness, you think that all of a sudden kids are just going to go hungry and start dying? I don't know, man. You got to believe in something more than yourself at some point. At some point. So the hoarding and all that stuff, I feel bad because to me, it was pointless. When instead I should have just continued to, share the love within the community, try and help some people that were struggling, inspire them. It only takes a little bit of inspiration on the right day to change somebody's life. That's why we don't give up. We'll continue. We'll take time off for ourselves to recenter and rebalance. We'll wait in the corners. It's watching from afar, if you will. But we'll be there, and we'll be ready to help those who ask for help, who are truly ready to receive real help. Help to, so they can start healing themselves, so they can start becoming a healer and a teacher and then go off into the world. Just like Jesus created his 12 disciples to go out there and, hey, go teach my message, just as if it was me teaching it. That's what we'll be here to do. And it'll be a beautiful, beautiful thing. Not some scary thing. This change it's beautiful. It's necessary, but it's beautiful. So don't worry about trying to awake the wrong people or try and force wisdom on people that are not ready to receive it. Don't speak on deaf ears, as they say. You can't accomplish anything speaking on deaf ears. You speak to those who are ready to listen, and they'll come to you. They'll find you. They will find you if you make yourself available. A lot of us, are in situations where we have family members complete opposites. We're on complete opposite sides of the tracks right now. And some of these people might transition into the next life still being on opposites. That's something we have to accept, because it's not our individual responsibility to wake up everybody. And that's part of our growth. That's part of our growth. That's one of the biggest things you can learn through this awakening process, is that you cannot wake everyone up. You cannot change everyone. That they have to go through certain things in order for that to happen. But you can make yourself available for those who have already come to a point where they're reaching out, where they're ready to hear certain things, where they're ready to have certain discussions, where they're ready to try new things. That we can do. We can make ourselves available. That's all. That's it. That's it. Patience is not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. And I'm not saying it's easy to watch loved ones torment themselves or follow the wrong crowd. But, again, you have to remember that this is a blink, that this is a quick moment in time in the bigger picture, that we have so much more we're heading towards, and that they will be there too. Okay, eventually they will be there too. So allow them to have their journey. Support them in whatever way you can without compromising your own integrity, without compromising your own journey. But yeah, don't battle. Don't battle with family. Don't battle with friends. Don't argue in comment sections. It's not going to accomplish anything. It's only going to lower your vibrations, your energy levels. It's going to revert you back to levels of negativity or depression or sadness that don't service you. Don't service you, and it doesn't service the other person. Stay in your lane. Stay in your bubble. As we talk about here, stay in your bubble. That's the best thing we can do right now. And enjoy the show, because it is a show, guys. I know it's a crazy show. It's a tragic comedy right now. It's a tragic comedy. But I promise you, things are getting better. They are getting so much better. Okay, it's gonna look silly. I mean, for those who are truly awake, we're laughing at it. I mean, we're laughing at it. Like, hey, this is just funny. Another false flag. Another 33 in the headline. Another this. Another that. Like, we see it. We just see it. It's laughable for people who have truly accepted what's going on. There are a lot of people that are at different stages of their awakening, and they just, all they see is the fear, the doom and gloom. That's all right. We've all been there at some point. Jesse Williams, how you doing? Welcome back. Hope you're having a great morning, afternoon, or night. Yeah, yep. 2024. If you're into the astrology and the eclipses, if you're following that, the September of 2017 there was the eclipse, and you had the what was it, the the birth and I can't remember the astrological occurrence, the constellation I'm trying to think of. But yeah, we're at about 3.5 years into that, a little over 3.5 years to that. 2024 is the next big eclipse, um, which a lot of people look at that as being the next big like energy wave, or like DNA activation that's really going to shake things up. Um, some people think that's when the EMCO is going to happen, when the sky is going to fall, whatever. I believe it's definitely at the least going to be a huge DNA activation. Maybe people will start getting some superpowers, um, as far as like telepathy and things like that. There was something I was looking into about the Tower of Babel, and how we all used to have one form of, it says language, but maybe it was communication, not verbal language. Maybe it was telepathy. And then maybe something happened to where we were given all these different verbal languages to divide and conquer, to separate us. Whether you believe it was the Anunnaki, the devil, whatever you want to believe, um, the fallen angels, the descent from that tower, that point of ascension, where we were all together, we were all working as one, we all communicated in one harmonic way. Maybe it was telepathy. So maybe we're gonna get some, some X-Men start type powers. Who knows? Maybe that's why they're trying to mess with your mRNA DNA right now. I'm not saying there aren't some bad people that are trying to stop what's happening. There's ego still amok. There are still powers that think that they can change this, but the smarter ones, they know. They know they can't stop it. Oh, we talk about the plasma apocalypse here all the time, Lisa Rose. That's how my channel got started. Well, yeah. Uh, we talk about the plasma apocalypse, the EMPCO, the electromagnetic plasma changeover event, with the toroidal fields and the red and blue beam. We talk about the uh, channels like J Dreamers, and of course Brian and Mia, rest in peace. Uh, Thunderbolts projects. Uh, I've been in communication with Jay personally. I've had some video chats with him. Great guy, love him. I recommend his channel all the time. Um, so yeah, we love the plasma apocalypse. Um, I focus on the plasma reset happening with inside of us, the changes that are occurring with inside the temple. We focus on things like changing diets, flushing out toxins, practicing meditation, fasting, exercise, grounding with nature, um, strengthening the Taurus field, your personal Taurus field, and your aura, to prepare for this process that's happening with the beginning stages of the EMPCO, the plasma apocalypse. Um, so yeah, Lisa. I think I might have even seen you in Jay Dreamer's chat before, if I'm not mistaken. You're not a moderator over there, are you? Your name looks very familiar. Now that I'm looking at it, Lisa Rose. I don't know why that just looks familiar, but yeah, big believer in the plasma apocalypse. I believe that it's a very real event. Um, a big believer in the mud floods and all the evidence of fallen um, civilizations underwater that are still being discovered, continental structure rechanging. Huge component, or a huge believer in these components to our real history and how things go. Whether we're going through a small reset right now or heading towards the big secular like wipe it all reset, that's still yet to be determined. And I leave that the science to all that uh, to people much more interested than I am. The pole shift, yeah, the pole shift. It's all relevant. Pole shift, um, and we see the physical signs of these things occurring. I mean, there's no question about it. The the Earth is birthing, going through birthing pains. Okay, uh, the Earth is definitely going through birthing pains. You're seeing, you know, all sorts of things happening with earthquakes and volcano eruptions and you know hurricanes and um, you know fires and all this kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, there's definitely monumental changes occurring. The Earth is definitely oscillating like a pregnancy, ready to birth a new world. There's no question about that. Um, what I try and teach people when it comes to preparing for Jesse, have a great night. We love you very much. Always a pleasure to have you pop in and say hello. And we look forward to chatting with you next time. I got on pretty late tonight, so I'll do better about getting on a little bit earlier later this week, maybe even tomorrow. Um, but as I was saying about the plasma apocalypse and people trying to hoard and get to a mountain or a cave or anything like that, um, I tell people that that's like the last thing you should be worried about. Um, I tell people to focus on more of the spiritual path of it. The like I said, the temple. This is your temple. Um, I look into things like ascension and rapture events, mass disappearance, um, leaving the physical body and going into a spiritual realm. I focus on things like that. That's where my interest lies. I have no interest in surviving um, in a post-apocalyptic world, living underground in a cave. Um, to me, I think that will be there will be a certain amount of people that do that, and if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I like people to try and look into other aspects of what possibly could happen. You know, so we like to discuss all avenues. Um, we definitely we don't mock anyone that wants to go. Like I said, go to the Ozarks or go to the Rocky Mountains, and I got a homestead close to the Ozarks just in case. I kind of play both sides of the field. Let me put it that way. I kind of play both sides of the field. I'm prepared. I try and prepare myself for whatever could happen. But if there's a chance that something like the rapture or a ascension, the light body leaving the physical form, um, before the like mass destruction reset of the plasma apocalypse, if there is a possibility for that, I want to make sure I've done everything in my power to go to a new world, a new dimension, like where there's dragons that you can ride and fly, or like creatures that we hear, mythological creatures that are talked about in like Jay Dreamer's videos and things like that. A spiritual world, a world with more color and things that we've never seen before with these fractals. If there, you know, if there's that kind of possibility, that kind of opportunity, that's the direction that I'd like to make sure that I'm preparing myself for. And everything that I look into, it's all about the temple. It's all about healing the temple. It's all about getting your vibrations flowing properly, your chakras flowing properly. And there are literal things you can do to accomplish that. Meditation, vegan diet, fasting, um, grounding in nature, being service to others, and not not a greedy hoarding service to self type person, not a fearful person, but someone that is riding a wave and trying new things and not being afraid to experience this world for what it has. Not living in a place of fear. And to me, running to the mountains and worried about surviving a storm comes from a place of fear. Um, and Not saying we all don't have it. Like I said, if I'm wrong, if there's not some rapture event, if there's not some, spiritual ascension event, which many cultures talk about, from Native American to, esoteric Christianity and so on, this leaving of the body, this 5D shift, if you want to get into New Age talk, the 5D shift, Dolores Cannon and people like that. If that doesn't happen, then I've set my family up and I've prepared myself with the knowledge that I need to get to a place, but I don't worry about it. I also don't worry about dying in the storm. Like, we're all going to die, okay? Like, you can't live forever. So you make it to a cave and you survive the storm. You're eventually going to die, right? Right? So I don't fear it like that. I'm not wasting my time trying to figure out when the date is that it's going to happen and watching cataclysmic events around the world and watching storm chasers and things like that. To me, that's chasing fear. To me, if like someone's interested in it, from like that's their passion, that's their scientific like background. They just have a strong interest in like plasma discharges and electromagnetism and like solar flares and things like that. Then that's their passion, and they're happy and they're excited about it, and they're sharing information that is very valuable to a lot of people. But to me, once I understood the flat Earth cosmology, once I understood the plasma storm, once I understood torus fields, toroidal fields, how it all works, how there's a focal point, a center point, to me it was like, okay, I understand it. I understand it. Great. My pull has always been towards the more spiritual, the what happens outside of the physical body. Where do we actually come from? Where does our consciousness actually come from? Where do we go after this? Like, okay, like I said, you survive the storm, you come out of the cave, and then what? I mean, do you just go back to eating dead animal and you know doing the same basic stuff that just allowed you to survive out of flight or fear mentality and survival instinct, or do you do you become something more? Do you believe that there's more than just this physical realm? And that's the areas that get me excited. That's where I've put all my focus and energy. I put all my focus and energy into preparing myself for the possibility of leaving this world before a plasma reset happens, which I believe we're definitely under a reset. Like I said, whether it's a minor reset, whether it's just a small ice age or a mud flood reset, or whether it's the big, it all gets wiped out down to the bare minimums, who knows? But I'm definitely I'm definitely aware of it all. Definitely, and like I said, I'm prepared for whatever's going to happen. Whatever's going to happen is whatever's going to happen. I don't chase it. I don't chase the storm. I focus on the storm within. I like to call it the plasma reset within, the pole shift within, where we're going from our head to our heart, that heart center, the most powerful generator that there is, that electromagnetic force. They say this is the magnetic and this is the electric, bringing them together, bringing that two become one. That's the shift that really gets me excited. But I'm a huge believer in the plasma. I think there's too much scientific evidence of it in our history. I think there's too much. When I came across it, it was just like boom. It just made too much sense. Like it just not knowing anything about, like I said, about how it all worked. It just all made sense. It was like whoa. I think that happens when we go through this awakening. You come across real truth, and you don't have to be able to explain it yourself to somebody else to understand it. You just get it. You just understand it. It's just like something in the core of you feels right. That's the thing, and that's because you're going to the heart. You feel it. You may not be able to explain it like, the Thunderbolts Projects or Jay Dreamers or someone. You might not be able to explain it like them, but you get it just as well as they do. You just feel it. And I think that's what a lot of us are going through in this awakening, this reset, this apocalypse. It is a plasma apocalypse. It is, because the plasma is returning. DNA is being activated within people. People are starting to rediscover truth, wisdom within themselves. They're starting to tap into the aether through the pineal gland. The pineal gland is decalcifying for a lot of people. People are getting healthier. They're tapping in, and they're receiving real truth again, and they're acknowledging it without being able to, like I said, go out and duplicate somebody's work. You could if you wanted to. You could, if that was where your passion lies, you'll be able to, because we all have the same capabilities as anyone else when it comes to wisdom. It's there for us all. It's there for us all. So I'm very excited that you popped in, Lisa. I know I get going, and I'm like, boom, 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 boom. But you can see, because I'm very excited about what is happening in the world right now. There is no fear for me. I'm not fearful. We're all going to die, okay? Everyone is going to die. You don't get to stay in this physical body forever. The physical is not of the heavenly realm. Whatever you want to call heaven, the physical is not of the heavenly realm. So transitioning out of this physical body is a gift. It is the gift. It is a gift. So I'm like, bring it on. I'm going to live down here as long as I'm here. As long as I'm here. If I die tomorrow, I die tomorrow. It's because it's not death. It's just transition. It's just transition. I'm on to the next stage, the next level, the next game, the next reality, realm, world, whatever you want to call it. Bring it on. Bring it on. This isn't all there is. This world of duality, it's not all there is. It's just a stepping stone. Death is a gift. That's why a happy old person, they're like, don't put no DNR on me, do not resuscitate. Let me go in peace. Don't keep me alive on machines or anything like that. Someone fulfilled, someone that gets it, someone who's in touch, someone who understands. They're like, I'm gone. Peace. Don't worry about me. I'll see you guys when you get there. Hey, our souls, our light bodies will engage again. We'll interact again. Nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. Let's see here. Oh, when you found me through Jay? Yeah, I love Jay. Jay's great. He's great. When he's on, he's on. You can feel his energy. You can feel his passion for what he does. He does. He really does want to be a part of a world full of love He wants to be a part of truth. He wants to be around others that are sharing love and sharing respect and wisdom. He definitely uh, emanates that vibration, emits it, um, and it's really awesome when Jay is you know on his highest vibration because you just feel it. You can see the excitement in his face. You can see it's genuine. Um, he never once charged for his work. Now he has ways where you get to contribute. He has memberships and things like that where you get perks and things like that. But he put out all of his work just there for people to see, and that's what I always made clear. Um, that don't be a gatekeeper. There are ways to monetize your efforts and get rewarded for your efforts. But if you are gifted with wisdom, occult knowledge in this time of revelations and apocalypse, which just means revealing, lifting the veil, um, just put it out there because it's not yours to hoard and it's not yours to decide who gets it. This is returning for a reason, and no matter what your area of expertise in, whether it's scientific background, comparative mythology, health, temple healing, whatever it is, um, just share it. Just share it and know that if you do it the right way, you will be rewarded. You will be gifted every abundance that you need. Okay, there is absolutely no reason to be a gatekeeper in this time because it's not our wisdom to gatekeep. It's not ours to hold on to. Solomon's wisdom is not ours to lock away. It's not. Let's see. Jiwi says the rapture is very real. It's not about punishment or reward. It's appropriate placement through division. Yep. Very well said. Jesse Williams said, most of Israelis have taken. Yeah, I know that's going on in Israel, right? Yep. I don't want to say certain words. I'll avoid certain words. Let's see, Jesse Williams, I've got to go. Okay, read some of Dr. Fred Bell's writings, kin to Alexander G. Bell. I'm a woman of a certain age, and he was interviewed years ago and said some things that was highly classified. Okay, I'll check that out. Yep, I will check that out. Definitely. Yes, indeed. The name of the book is The Promise by Dr. Fred Bell. Okay. Yep, the yin and yang of the mind. Yep. The two become one. Yep. We gotta learn to balance. Ego is not a bad thing. There's so many New Agers or certain people that say you got to kill the ego, you got to kill the ego, you got to kill the ego. No, you got to respect the ego, you got to balance the ego, you got to acknowledge the ego. It is a part of the human experience. You can't let the ego run the show as it has been doing. You've got to pull it back into check, but you can't kill the ego. Okay, can't kill it. Let's see here. We are the stars we see in the sky. Some have high luminosity, some have low luminosity. Everything is light. Right, right, right. It's beautiful. Nicely said. I want to thank all 7 people for watching right now. If you have never been in before, just go ahead and say hello. You can hit a like if you choose to. Check your subscribe. Always glad to have people come in with thoughts and ideas. We just get together here on Awaken to Reality and kind of talk about what's going on in the world. Some people would say we talk about conspiracies, but we just talk about theories on what might be happening in the world. We don't push any doctrines. We don't push anything on anyone. We try and keep it very loving and respectful, with humility and acceptance. And we're glad to have you. Glad to have you. Let's see here. Jesse, yep, thank you. I'm sorry if I don't mean to go away for the periods of time I do. I just, like I said, I feel like, at times it could be repetitive, or I get into phases where I'm just like anyone else, where I'm like getting impatient and frustrated with the process, and just don't want to come across with a low vibe or a low energy. I want to make sure that when I come on, and I make myself available, it's with um, a beautiful, warm, full heart of love and acceptance, and make myself available in the right ways. So I'm glad to be back in a position over these last couple weeks where I have a desire to get on and chat with people, and I just like anyone else, I battle insecurities and doubts for moments in time, and then I gotta get a grip on myself and remember that they're all illusions. Let's see here. Yep, there is life after death, and just like there is life before life, absolutely. We all came from somewhere. We're all headed somewhere. Our consciousness obviously exists outside of us. We can have a conversation inside our head, answer ourselves back and forth without moving our lips. That voice inside of us exists somewhere else. Our emotions cannot be cut out of ourselves, but they exist. Memories, things like that, it all exists outside of us. So it's a very real thing, and that's why so many Christians or Bible pushers who are Bible realists and all this, they say they believe in God, and they say they believe in a spiritual realm, but they don't live by it. They don't act like it. They don't do any of the things that show they actually believe in it. You know, um, it's more like, and if they do, they want to push the demonic side, like demons this and demons that, and devil this and devil that, and there's like, well, where's your walking with the righteous and the good? Where's your belief in the angels and Jesus and heaven and all these things? Like it just sometimes I don't understand, but I don't worry myself with it either. Like I said, I don't battle with people. You know, you have a right to live your life the way you're living it, as long as you don't infringe on others. That's where I draw the line. That's where people with righteousness need to stand up. And you know, as long as you're not trying to inflict anything on anyone in my immediate area, anyone in my tribe or my community, or my family, then you do your own thing. Whether you're a drug addict or an alcoholic or whatever, if you got a right to make all the mistakes that you are going to make until you start infringing on somebody else's well-being. That's where the righteous have to stand for those who can't stand for themselves. It's like the kids being forced to wear face diapers and things right now. That's where I draw the line. That's where I would speak up for others, because those kids can't speak up for themselves, and that's not right. That's not right at all. But adults, you do whatever you feel you got to do. Okay, you want to wear a face covering for the rest of your days. You want to go get injections for the rest of your days. That's your right. That's your right. Um, and if you want to force a two-tier society, it's going to be your loss, because you're going to push away people that care, people that want to help. But that's your right. That's your right. We will rebuild no matter what. The two-tier society is already here. It's already here. How long it will exist is the question. But it's here. Okay? The two-tier society is here. The people they've drawn their lines. The lines have been drawn for over 18 months now. You have people crossing the line. Every day, more people come across. How long it'll take to get everyone across the line, who knows? But, people that have had 3 injections, going to draw the line and say, no, I'm not getting a 4th injection. Or people that have had 2 are saying that they're not going to get the 3rd. So each step along the way, we have another person waking up in stages and saying, enough is enough. Um, and us leading by example the right way and being welcoming the right way with open arms. And like I said, no mockery, no, I told you so. Why'd it take you so long? If you had just listened to me, it's not going to accomplish anything. It's just going to keep a little bit of the wedge in between. You just want to be there for them as they cross the threshold, as they cross the picket line, if you will, and they say they've had enough, and say, okay, now how can I help you find your sovereignty, find your health, find your happiness, find your purpose? Don't worry about what other people are doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you're here now. You're with people that care. How can we help you? How can we be here for you while you learn to start taking care of yourself? Because that's what this is all about from here on out. Just learning how to take care of yourself. That's it. That's it. Learning how to take care of yourself and give back a fair share of your time and energy to community, society, the earth, whatever you want to call it, while you're still here in this realm. Instead of just being a taker, are you giving back your fair share? And there's many, many different ways to do that. So many different ways to give back. But first, you have to learn how to take care of yourself. First, you have to take care of yourself, Oh, yeah, we all chuckle inside our head. Look, we all chuckle inside our head. We all will have moments of frustration inside our head. But it's one of those things, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Like, we all have thoughts. Thoughts come and go. Like, it's our choice on whether we act on those thoughts. That's the Antichrist and the Christ within. Information, ideas just come and go. We are Wi-Fi receptors to the eternal wisdom, the eternal information. It's coming and going. What we choose to speak on or act on is where the Christ or the Antichrist is played out. And so, yeah, no, we're all gonna, like seeing the person driving down the car with the mask on by themselves. We're all thinking the same thing. Those who are awake, we're all thinking it, but showing reserve on not pointing a finger or saying something out loud to those people that's what matters. It was in that moment you made the choice to be compassionate, to be understanding, to have an understanding about what they're, because we were all asleep at one point. We were all indoctrinated at one point. We were all believing the wrong people and getting our advice and our guidance from the wrong people at some point in time in our life. Whether it was a parent and we had to break free from our parents' rules and we had to learn for ourselves, or schooling system or government or doctors or whatever. We've all been there. So being there, we know what it's like. But yeah, no, you're right. We'll say them inside. Keep it inside. Have a little chuckle on the inside, and try and lead by example on the outside. It doesn't mean that because we thought something for a moment and had a laugh that our true self is still not our true self. If you are daily making the right decisions, you are daily leading with the right examples. That's your true self. That's your true self. But we'll all have moments. I've even shared a meme and gone, damn it, I shouldn't have shared that meme. Like I realized that one is poking fun. I should probably delete that one. It still happens, especially if you stay on social media too long and you're scrolling and you just you share it in the moment. You click that share and you're like, oh wait, I it was okay for me to laugh at that on the inside. Probably wasn't supposed to share that with other people. Uh, our dark humor, we all have it. Well, we all have a little darkness inside of us. It's true. See, that is right. We cannot beat up on those who have taken the choice. This is a life lesson. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And again, it only because in arguments in taking those divisive, argumentative approaches, it only makes people want to buckle down in their position even more. It only wants them to want it because now they want to prove you wrong. So now they're like, I got the second, I'll get the third, I'm doing fine. It's just a side effect. It's okay. One mask, two masks, three masks. Yeah, like they'll buckle down because they want to meet divisiveness with divisiveness. They want to meet aggression with aggression. But if people just continue to go about living with a smile on their face, doing their thing, being happy, being loving, being carefree, eventually people are going to miss that. And they're going to go, man, okay, it's been 18 months. I've seen that person walking down the street as happy as could be, going into stores with no mask this entire time, and they're fine. Maybe it's okay for me to go, enough with this. Let me try that out because that's more appealing. That looks like fun again. And we'll get there. We'll get there. Not everyone is going to end up there in this lifetime. That is something that just has to be accepted. There are going to be people that are going to die or transition because of decisions that they've made, and that's okay. That's okay. We all lose loved ones. We all lose loved ones. Well, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up here in a few minutes. We'll give it a few minutes. I always say that, and then I give it a few minutes to make sure that no one pops in with any last-minute hellos or last-minute questions. I will remind everyone that we do have a Discord channel. Of course, the link will be in the description after the video, where we are communicating throughout the day, every day. People are posting things, sharing everything from just inspirational music to educational videos to news of what's going on around the world, on all subjects relevant to the Great Awakening, conspiracies, self-discovery, all sorts of different subjects. The Great Reset, whatever you want to call it, because it's all the same thing, just different words with the same overlapping process that's occurring. Of course, I'm on Facebook. You can watch us on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, whatever your preferred platform is. For at least another couple months, I still have till about December, where I stream to all three platforms. So when a stream goes live, it's going live to YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook all at the same time. So you can hit your like or your follow. It's all Awakened Reality. All platforms are called Awakened Reality. Whether it's Instagram, my Twitter, the Facebook page. So it's all there for you. Where else are we located? I'm sure there's other places, but I think those are the main ones: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, and of course the YouTube and Twitch stream going out. Come check us out. Reach out. I'm available for consultation, or just you just ever need someone to talk with, need a little reassurance, you have a question about something, you have a subject you'd like me to look into and give some opinions on, you can reach out to me personally, privately, um, via Messenger, via WhatsApp. The links are all on the Facebook page. Um, you can even call me on the WhatsApp. We can have a one-on-one Zoom meeting. Whatever works for you, I'm available. I'll pull some tarot cards for you if you need, and we'll have some fun and some laughs. Um, it's all in love and caring these days, guys. It's all about love and caring, trying to be service to others in any way I can. So you let me know how I can help. Other than that, I'll just keep getting on here and checking in with people occasionally and doing these chats and seeing how everyone's doing because we're in this together, guys. We are definitely in this together. Don't forget, guys. If you haven't tried it, try like Ralph Smart says on Infinite Waters, try a 7-day vegan challenge if you can. Just try it. See how you feel afterwards. And then let me know. Um, and then when you're ready, try fasting. Really, guys. I mean, the fasting is. I mean, it's just knocking years off my skin, off my life. The energy. I can't tell you enough about how much energy you get, how much clarity. The mind just starts working. Information just starts coming in. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But do it safely. Do it by paying attention to your own body, making sure you're doing it with plenty of time to rest and things like that. And let me know how it goes for you guys. I'm going to hop off here, guys. I wish you guys a good morning, good afternoon, good night. I love you guys so much. My name's Jeremy. This is Awaken Reality. We'll see you next time. Take care.